my beautiful friends, welcome to Soy and Sazon. I'm Josefina, and today in my kitchen I'm going to be showing you guys how I make birria in an instant pot. I have a previous video where I've shown you guys how to make birria tacos, and then I do birria the low and slow way where it takes several hours to make it. This time I'm showing you guys the quick way of putting it all together in the instant pot and then getting to enjoy it without so many hours. First thing I'm gonna do before I get that meat going in the pot is to make the sauce for it. So I have all of the ingredients and their amounts listed down in the description box for you to take a look at. But the first thing we're gonna do is to de-seed all of these chiles. So I've got some pasilla, I've got guajillo, and I have some chile ancho in here. I've already gone and de-seeded all these, and I wanted to show you guys. I showed you guys how to do it in the last video by hand. This time I'm going to show you me doing it with scissors because it's so much easier. So that's a chile ancho. You have to pull that stem out. Mine kind of exploded on me a little bit, but you can take some scissors and cut it down the side and split it open. So I've taken out all the seeds, and now we've just got the skin of that chile ancho all nice and clear. Oh, seed. We don't want to keep the seeds in there because the seeds are bitter and that'll change the flavor of this. So this one is a chile pasilla. Take that off. And then I'll come in here and just cut along one side of it. We are going to take these over to my comal. If you don't have one, a dry skillet is perfect for this. So we're going to take this and we are going to give all of these a nice little toast. These are not going to sit here and toast very long because if it stays on too long, it is going to burn. Essentially what you want is to just start to smell it and give them flips every like 10-15 seconds. I've got this on a medium-low heat. Don't want it to burn because then if it burns, it will become bitter and you'll know it's burnt because you're gonna smell that burnt smell. So I'm just giving it constant flips. I don't know if you guys can tell, but if you watch close enough, you'll see them start to like kind of puff up and move around. You know they're heating up, and you'll see their skin kind of start to give off a slightly different color. There's some like bubbles there from it starting to blister a little bit. And this just helps develop the flavor. It'll still be really good if you don't do this, but this gives it another layer of flavor, and Mexican cuisine is all about layering flavor. So each individual ingredient gets its own special attention. I don't know if you guys can see well, but you can see the color is starting to change. It gets a little bit lighter. So these are good to remove. I can smell them. They smell so good. When it comes to these red ones, these guajillo, you can see that color change while it's toasting a lot easier than you can see it on these dark ones. So don't walk away because I make the mistake all the time of walking away. And once you've burnt it, you can't take the bitter taste out of the food. So keep an eye on it and don't walk away. So with my skillet still on that low heat, I'm gonna toast off the next ingredients, which will be some sesame seeds, an inch of a cinnamon stick that I broke off, and some bay leaves. You'll know these are ready because the sesame seeds will start to change color. They're also going to be popping around. And then you'll start to smell that cinnamon. So once you start to smell it and it's getting fragrant, take them off. The bay leaves will also start to change color. So once they've gotten to a kind of golden color, you'll be able to pull those off. And those will be done before anything else is. All right, I'm turning my skillet off because this is cast iron. Cast iron continues to carry heat even after you've turned it off. You can see the cinnamon stick went from being straight to kind of like fanning itself out and falling apart. That's because it's getting nice and toasted. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that. And the final ingredient that I am going to toast up are these garlic. All of these still have their skin on. because if anything is gonna burn, it's gonna be that skin rather than the garlic. This will give the garlic a chance to get warmed all the way through. The outside will get just a little bit of a toasting and not a charring, so then it'll get softened up and it'll bring out a sweetness in the garlic that isn't there if we just tossed it into the blender with all of the ingredients. If we did that, then it would keep that yummy spicy flavor that it has, and we want sweetness out of this. You can see the skins changing color. You'll start to smell them. Garlic like this is my absolute favorite. Once the skin starts to get a good coloring on it like this, it's time to pull it off. All right, I'm gonna move this, and I've had some water boiling off to the side. To this water, we're gonna add in all of the chiles that we toasted, and this is gonna soften them up so that they can puree really well and get blended smoothly into the sauce. Just make sure everything gets submerged in the water, and I'm gonna leave these here on medium-low heat to simmer for 10 minutes. Okay, and now we are back over to my counter. So the next thing we're gonna do is put everything into my blender and make it a sauce. You can see how soft and squishy and rehydrated all of these peppers are. So we're gonna put those in. I'm gonna take half a cup of the liquid that we cooked these peppers in and add it in here. And this will just help it to puree really well. Then we're gonna add those toasted sesame seeds, the cinnamon, the bay leaf. I'm also going to add in every single clove of garlic that we toasted. Make sure to remove the peel before you add in the garlic. Let me show you guys. You can see the garlic, it's got a little bit of a toast there on one side, and then it becomes like squishy and soft. That's what you want. Adding in onion that I rough chopped. And the spices, cloves, thyme, cumin, marjoram, peppercorns, and then some oregano. Some apple cider vinegar. And salt. Noticing that it's struggling just a little bit to blend, so I'm gonna add in probably about 2 tablespoons worth of that cooking liquid from the peppers. I'm not sure what happened here, but my mic on my phone just wasn't recording sound anymore. So what I'm explaining here is that I've put in a couple tablespoons of oil, and I took a whole chuck roast and I cut it into 4 large chunks. That way it would just be easier to get all of it seared up. And also it helped me to be able to trim off any excess fat that I didn't want. So you're looking for this nice yummy brown searing on all of the chunks. And when they're done, you'll take them out and set them off to the side. All right, so I have them all seared off. So now I'm gonna return the other ones back into the Instant Pot and add everything together. And my final ingredient going in will be some chicken stock. I made some bone broth yesterday. So I'm gonna add that into this. The reason I didn't blend it together is because I purposely wanted to be able to put some in here and get out everything that's still stuck in the blender. We don't waste blender ingredients here. I want just enough to cover up that meat, and I'm gonna give everything a stir together. That way that sauce combines with the broth. Everything is well mixed. It's all nice and covered. So now, we're gonna put the lid on and let this cook. I'm gonna put it on the meat setting, and I'm gonna do it for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Make sure that it is on seal and let it do its thing. And now we wait, and since we have an hour and 15 minutes, you can make sides, you can do the toppings, which are traditionally cilantro, minced onion, and some lime wedges, along with a spicy salsa that goes on top. I already did some ahead because my husband took the kids to the beach. And so I've got some Mexican rice, and I made chorizo refried beans to go with this for us. If you want to see either one of those recipes, I'll link them down in the description box because I've got an individual video for each one of those. So I will see you in roughly 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, it has been an hour. I was too impatient and didn't let it release pressure on its own, so I just went ahead and did that myself. And let's take a look. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is. Let me give this a squeeze. Oh yeah, oh yeah, see, that meat just wants to, look at it. Oh my God, it is falling apart when I squeeze it. I'm trying to hold on before it plops and it splashes me. Woo. Now I'm gonna give this broth a real quick taste just to make sure it didn't need some salt. That definitely does need some salt, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this in now. I am going to pull out the meat and put it on this cutting board. That way when I go to serve, I'm not having to try to fish through to find the chunks of meat. I've already got it here on the cutting board, and I can break it apart on the plate as I serve it. The sauce needs just one final thing. I know, how much more I want to eat. I'm gonna take out just a little bit of this so that tomorrow when we have leftovers, if my family decides they want some birria tacos or quesabirria, I have this off to the side to dip the tortillas in and fry them in the pan. You'll see that happen in my birria taco video. And now I'm gonna puree 2 tomatoes and put it in here and stir it up while it's on saute. That way it cooks up those tomatoes. It's only gonna take a few minutes. And the reason why I didn't do it earlier when I made the sauce is because I wanted to be able to separate some, because if I did the tomato with the tortilla, it wouldn't have been a concentrated enough flavor for that. So now we're gonna puree tomato and add here, and it is done. So I have both Roma tomatoes in here. I've cut them in half just to help with the blending. And with that done, I'm gonna set this on saute. Gonna take our lovely tomato puree here and just pour it right in. And just give her a good stir. Okay, I let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and this is what we're left with. Normally, straining out the sauce is what's done before it gets put into the meat, but that doesn't really bother me. I don't care for the little teeny bits of whatever, like the skin of the pepper, the tomato, any of that does not bother me. If that's something that'll bother you texture-wise, take it out. You don't have to leave it in there. Just use a fine mesh sieve and you'll be able to get that all out, and it'll just be a nice little velvety, smooth sauce. Guys, look at this plate. I need you to admire the glory of Mexican food. The smells on this plate right now, I feel like I'm getting sucked into like every wedding, every quinceañera, every baptism, because this right here is the typical dish that is served at all of those parties. I feel like I can just hear the band playing music and me dancing and being a goober, and then coming back and sitting down and having a plate of this with warm tortillas, which, speaking of, I made a batch of some blue corn tortillas to go with this, with my Hacienda Masarina. It's perfection. And just make sure I get a little bit of everything. Onion, cilantro, the lime juice is on there. Oh. Oh my God, this is so good. And then you scoop up some beans with it. None of this is spicy. If you want spicy, you would have to make a salsa to go on top of it, because this right here, every single one of those chiles was purely for the flavor. Not a single bit of it is gonna make your tongue feel like it's on fire. It is all just flavor between the peppers and that touch of acidity from the vinegar to help balance that out. And then you add the fresh lime juice on top of it. All those spices and herbs, it's just magic. It's just magic is what it is. I wish I could give you guys some. Here. Just let you have a bite. Say, ah. That is it for today's video. If you made it this far, then let me know down in the comments, what is a dish for you that's nostalgic and just kind of always transports you when you eat it? If you guys liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I hope that you're willing to hit that subscribe button, stick around with me for a while on my journey to becoming a homesteader and teaching you how to make Mexican food from scratch. I'll see you in the next one.